Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Ascent Daily. I'm happy you're here. Let me begin with a pair of white socks. Yes, white socks. When I visited Tokyo, I decided to try a strange little experiment. I put on a fresh white pair and walked around the city for hours. I crossed busy sidewalks. I passed crowded train stations. I visited stores and explored different streets. By evening, my feet were tired, and I was sure those socks would be completely black. I was already thinking, well, these socks had a very short life. But when I finally took them off, I could not believe my eyes. They were only a little gray. That was all. I looked at them again, because I thought my eyes were playing a joke on me. After an entire day in one of the busiest cities in the world, they still looked surprisingly clean. Back home, those socks might have needed soap, a long prayer, and maybe a funeral. But in Tokyo, they had survived. That small experiment made me curious. I started looking more closely at everything around me. The clean streets were only the beginning. When I entered Japanese homes, I noticed that outdoor shoes stopped at the entrance. Inside, everything had its own place. People did not throw empty bottles directly into the trash. They rinsed them first. Garbage could not leave the house whenever it wanted. It had its own category, its own bag, and even its own special day. Honestly, the garbage there seemed to have a more organized schedule than I did. Even the toilet surprised me. It had so many buttons that, for a moment, I was afraid I might press one and accidentally launch myself into another room. But behind all these surprising details was one simple idea. Japanese homes did not stay clean because someone spent the whole day scrubbing every corner. They stayed clean because people stopped dirt, clutter, moisture, and bad smells before they became a bigger problem. During my visit, I discovered 7 small habits that completely changed the way I thought about cleaning. The first habit begins at the front door. The first Japanese apartment I visited had a small lower area inside the entrance. It is called a genkan. I saw the raised floor, but I did not understand the rule. I almost stepped onto it with my outdoor shoes. My host gently pointed down, and I stopped with one foot in the air. For a moment, I looked like a confused flamingo. Then I understood. My shoes had to stay below. I took them off, turned them neatly toward the door, and put on the indoor slippers waiting for me. That small action made perfect sense. My shoes had touched sidewalks, station floors, wet roads, and many places I did not want to think about. If I wore them through the apartment, all that dirt would enter the living room and bedroom. Then someone would have to clean it. The smarter plan was to stop the dirt before it came inside. Later, I found another pair of slippers near the toilet. These were only for that area. I changed into them before entering and left them there when I came out. Well, that was the plan. Once I forgot and walked toward the living room in the toilet slippers. My host looked at my feet. I looked at my feet. Then I turned around so quickly that I nearly broke a speed record. We laughed, and I never forgot again. This habit showed me that cleaning also means creating boundaries. Outdoor dirt stays near the door, and toilet slippers stay near the toilet. You do not need a Japanese entrance to try this in America. Place a shoe mat, bench, or basket beside the door. Remove your shoes, hang your jacket, and put your bag in one place. It takes less than a minute and prevents dirt from spreading. The second habit is simple. Clean a small mess while it is still small. I noticed this after breakfast one morning. We had rice, eggs, soup, and tea. When the meal ended, no one left the bowls in the sink for later. The food was put away, the dishes were washed, the table was wiped, and the water around the sink was removed. Nobody looked stressed. It did not feel like a major cleaning event. In only a few minutes, the kitchen was ready for the next meal. Many of us tell ourselves, I will wash this plate after I rest for 5 minutes. But 5 minutes becomes an hour. One plate meets another plate. Then 2 cups join them. By evening, the sink is holding a large family reunion. The work feels difficult because we allowed a tiny job to grow. During the rest of my trip, I saw the same pattern again and again. A cup was washed after use. Crumbs were removed from the table. A wet cloth was hung so it could dry. A small mark on the counter was wiped before it became dry and sticky. These actions took seconds, but they prevented long cleaning sessions later. I decided to test this habit myself. When I finished tea, I washed my cup. When I returned to my room, I hung my jacket instead of throwing it on a chair. Before bed, I spent 3 minutes putting things back. At first, I thought I was doing more work. After a few days, I realized I was doing less. Nothing had time to pile up. You can use a 1-minute rule. If a task takes about 1 minute, do it now. Wipe the counter, put the cereal box away, return the remote, throw away the wrapper. A new spill may take 10 seconds to clean. A dry, sticky spill takes much longer. One shirt is easy to move. 10 shirts can make the chair disappear. And if you leave crumbs long enough, ants may arrive and start paying rent. The third habit is giving every object a clear home. One Tokyo apartment I visited was small, but it did not feel crowded. The people living there had books, clothes, cooking tools, bags, and daily supplies. Yet very few things were lying around without a place. The keys went into a tray near the door. Umbrellas stood in one holder. The remote returned to the same spot. Shopping bags were folded. Cleaning products stayed together. Even the scissors had one drawer. If someone needed them, there were not 12 possible places to search. That helped me understand the difference between cleaning and organizing. A surface can be free of dust and still look messy when it is covered with random objects. Clutter also makes cleaning harder. You must move 5 things before you can wipe one table. Sometimes we believe we hate cleaning, but we are really tired of moving our belongings from one pile to another. Not every Japanese person is a minimalist, and not every Japanese home is empty. These are real homes with real people. However, small living spaces often make people think carefully. Before buying something, they may ask, "Where will I keep it?" That is a useful question. A cheap item is not really a bargain if it becomes permanent floor decoration. I thought about all the things I kept just in case. An empty box, an old cable for a device I no longer owned, a shirt I had not worn for years. Somehow I believed I might urgently need that shirt on one very special Tuesday. We often protect objects we do not use, and then complain that our closets are full. The lesson was not to throw away everything. It was to keep useful things, respect them, and give them a fixed place. When you finish using something, return it. Start with one small space, such as your kitchen counter or bedside table. Remove what does not belong there. Give the remaining objects a home. One clear surface can make the entire room feel calmer. The fourth habit was the hardest for me to understand: the garbage system. In many Japanese communities, people cannot put every kind of waste into one large bag. Garbage is separated into categories. The exact rules are different from one city to another, but the main idea is the same. Different materials must be handled in different ways. Where I stayed, there was a collection calendar. Certain days were for burnable waste. Other days were for cans, glass bottles, plastic bottles, paper, or other recyclable items. Some things needed special bags. Caps and labels sometimes had to be removed. Waste had to be placed at the correct location and at the correct time. I studied that calendar as if a difficult exam was coming. One evening, I picked up a bag and said, "I will take this outside." My host asked, "Which kind of garbage is it?" I looked at the bag, then at the calendar, and then back at the bag. I had no idea. If a bag is sorted incorrectly, workers may leave it behind with a notice. Rules and penalties depend on the area, so residents must learn their local system. Large objects, such as a chair, mattress, or bicycle, also need planning. In many places, the resident must arrange collection, pay a fee, and attach a special sticker. So you cannot look at an old couch one morning and say, "Our journey ends here. Goodbye." The couch may need an appointment before it can leave. This sounds strict, but it prevents large piles from suddenly appearing on the street. It also makes people pause before buying things they may soon throw away. Public trash cans were not always easy to find. After buying a snack, I sometimes carried the package until I returned home or found the correct bin. People did not use the absence of a trash can as permission to drop a wrapper. They accepted responsibility for their waste. That helped explain my white socks. Tokyo was not magically clean, and no city is perfect. The roads stayed cleaner because many people made small choices. They carried wrappers, they followed local collection days, they separated waste, they tried not to leave a problem for the next person. The rules in an American city may be different, but the mindset still works. Learn what your local recycling service accepts. Keep separate containers if needed. Do not place a large item outside and simply hope it disappears. Know where your waste goes. A clean street begins with what each person chooses to do at home. The fifth habit is connected to garbage, but it deserves its own place. Food bottles and containers are often cleaned before disposal or recycling. I first noticed this after someone finished a bottled drink. The bottle did not go directly into a bag. It was emptied, rinsed, and left to dry. The cap and label were separated when the local rules required it. I saw similar care with cans, food trays, and cartons. Some cartons were rinsed, opened, and dried. Containers with sauce or oil were cleaned before collection. The exact steps depended on the material and the city. The important part was that people checked the rules instead of throwing every package into the same bin. At first, washing trash sounded strange to me. Why give a bottle a bath before saying goodbye? Then I understood the reason. Food left inside creates bad smells. It can attract insects, leak onto other materials, and make recycling difficult. It also creates unpleasant work for the people who collect and sort the waste. A quick rinse at home can prevent a much larger problem later. This also helped garbage areas smell better. Wet food was drained when possible. Bags were closed. Food-covered packages did not sit open in the kitchen. That matters in warm weather. Anyone who has opened a trash can during a hot American summer knows that the smell does not simply enter your nose. It grabs your entire soul. When I returned home, I tried a smaller version of the habit. I emptied containers and rinsed the items accepted by my local recycling service. I stopped liquids from leaking into the bin. My kitchen smelled fresher, and the trash can became easier to clean. I also noticed how much packaging I used. When you must sort and clean each package, you begin to ask whether you needed it in the first place. A good waste system does not only manage garbage, it can help you create less of it. The sixth habit is controlling water and moisture. A bathroom may look clean, but still develop mold and bad smells when wet areas stay wet. Japan can be very humid, so I noticed special care around bathrooms, towels, sinks, and bedding. Japanese bathing also follows a clear order. You wash and rinse your body before entering the bathtub. The tub is a place to soak and relax in clean water. This helps the water stay cleaner, especially when more than one family member uses it. After a bath, the water on walls and floors was not always ignored. A fan or window helped air move through the room. Towels were spread out to dry. Bottles were not left sitting in pools of water. Some people used a small tool to remove water from walls and mirrors. These short steps reduced moisture before it could turn into mold. I began to see ventilation as part of cleaning. It was useful in the kitchen too. Steam, cooking oil, and smells can settle on surfaces. Using an exhaust fan and wiping the stove soon after cooking prevents an invisible, sticky layer from building up. Bedding also needs air. Blankets and mattresses collect moisture from our bodies, even when they do not feel wet. Pulling back the covers in the morning and letting the bed breathe can help it stay fresh. And then there was the Japanese toilet. I had heard stories about it, but meeting one was different. The control panel looked as if it belonged beside an airplane seat. Depending on the model, there could be a heated seat, washing functions, adjustable water pressure, automatic flushing, or a deodorizer. On some toilets, the washing wand cleaned itself, and a light mist helped stop dirt from sticking to the bowl. Not every toilet in Japan has every feature. Still, I liked the idea. Technology made hygiene easier and reduced small cleaning tasks. Sadly, no button cleaned the entire bathroom while singing a happy song. Humans still had responsibilities. The first time I used the controls, I moved very carefully. I thought one wrong button might turn the peaceful bathroom into a water show. Soon I understood them. Then I returned to a normal cold toilet seat and felt as if a new luxury had been taken away from me. You do not need an expensive toilet to follow this habit. Make the clean action easy. Keep the right tools nearby. Use the fan. Hang towels properly. Wipe water when you see it. Let the bed and bathroom breathe. Preventing moisture for 1 minute is easier than fighting mold later. The seventh habit is treating cleaning as a shared responsibility. I noticed this idea outside the home too. In many Japanese schools, students help clean classrooms and common areas. They may sweep, wipe, and organize the places they use. They learn that a shared space belongs to everyone, so everyone should care for it. The same idea can work in a family. If you create a mess, you do not automatically wait for your mother, partner, roommate, or a cleaning worker to remove it. One person can wash dishes while another clears the table. Someone can manage the garbage calendar. A child can put toys back into a box. The jobs may be different, but one unlucky person should not carry the whole home. I once saw a child finish a snack in a public place. There was no trash can nearby. The wrapper did not fall to the ground. It went into the family's bag. That action lasted only a few seconds, but it explained a lot. Respect for a space becomes visible in what we do when no one is watching. Japan also has a tradition called usuji, or big cleaning. It often happens near the end of the year. Families, schools, and workplaces clean areas that daily routines may miss. They may clean windows, shelves, fans, and spaces behind furniture. They may sort papers and remove items they no longer use. The purpose is to finish the old year with a cleaner space and welcome the new one with a fresh start. I liked that meaning. Deep cleaning had always felt like punishment to me. Usuji made it feel like a reset. The dust did not become more beautiful because it was December and the work was still work. But it had a clear reason. You can make your own version at the end of each season. Let each person take one area, check expired products, donate useful things, repair what is broken. Keep the jobs fair and clear. Shared cleaning does not mean that a child and an adult must do the same work. It means that everyone contributes in a way they can. By the end of my trip, I saw how all 7 habits work together. Shoes stayed near the entrance so less dirt reached the floor. Small messes were handled quickly. Objects had fixed places. Garbage was sorted and collected correctly. Containers were rinsed, so smells were reduced. Wet areas were dried and aired. Cleaning was shared, so one person did not carry the entire burden. None of this means every Japanese home is perfect. People in Japan get tired and busy too. Children make messes. Laundry waits. Dishes somehow appear as if they can reproduce. Every home is different. What impressed me was not perfection. It was the system behind many of the clean spaces I saw. The system focuses on prevention. Many of us wait until the laundry overflows, the counter disappears, and the trash smells angry. Then we plan a huge cleaning day. 3 hours later, we are tired and holding an object we have not seen since 2018. The habits I saw in Japan offered another path. Do less, but do it earlier. Stop dirt at the door. Finish the tiny task. Give each object a home. Respect the waste system. Rinse what needs to be rinsed. Let wet areas dry. Ask everyone to help. None of these actions is dramatic, but together they can change a home. Do not try all 7 habits tomorrow. Choose the one that solves your biggest problem. If the floor gets dirty quickly, create a no-shoes area. If the kitchen smells, improve the way you handle food containers. If the room looks crowded, give 10 everyday objects a fixed place. If the bathroom stays wet, use the fan and hang every towel correctly. Try one habit for 7 days. Make it easy. Put the shoe basket beside the door. Keep a cloth near the counter. Add a hook for the towel or set a 3-minute timer before bed. Good habits grow stronger when your home reminds you what to do. A cleaner space can also make the mind feel lighter. When you know where your keys are, the morning begins with less stress. When the sink is clear, breakfast feels easier. When the bedroom has fresh air, rest feels better. Cleaning cannot solve every life problem, but it removes many small problems that quietly steal our time. I still remember those white socks. The experiment was funny, but it taught me something serious. Clean homes and streets are not created by one perfect person with endless energy. They are created by ordinary people repeating small, respectful actions. Someone removes shoes. Someone rinses a bottle. A child carries a wrapper home. A wet wall is wiped before mold appears. One action seems too small to matter, but thousands of small actions shape the whole environment. So look around your home after this episode. Do not search for everything that is wrong. Find one place where a small habit can prevent tomorrow's mess. Maybe it is the entrance. Maybe it is the sink. Maybe it is that famous chair covered with clothes. Yes, we all know the chair. Give it freedom. Let it become a chair again. You do not need a perfect home, a large budget, or an advanced Japanese toilet. You need a simple system that also works on your busiest day. Choose one clean action and repeat it calmly. Small habits may not look powerful at first, but they can make your home cleaner, fresher, and easier to enjoy. Thank you for spending this time with me on English Ascent Daily. Keep learning, keep growing, and take care of the space that takes care of you. I will see you in the next episode.